DeMarco Morgan, News 4 New York.
When New York Nightly News continues, raging inferno. The fire that shut down the light rail for a time in New Jersey. Plus, a chase leads to a standoff in California. How it all ended when New York Nightly News continues. Well, he's already a local sports legend. Now he's about to be known all over North America. We're talking about New Jersey Devils goaltender Martin Brodeur, who was on the brink of hockey history. Len Berman is here to tell us about that brink.
Well, it's going on right now. And he is well on his way. Martin Brodeur is going for the all-time record tonight. It's 552 wins by a goaltender. You know, all along he's been quick to credit his teammates because obviously if you don't have a team that scores a lot of goals in front of you or some defense behind you, well, then it's not that easy to get all these wins. Now, this was the introduction tonight. The Devils game is already underway against the Chicago Blackhawks. Got a nice ovation. Wouldn't you know, it's just 38 seconds into the game the Devils score. Jamie Langenbrunner. And before the period is out, the Devils score a second goal. So right now, after one period of play, the Devils already lead it 2-0. So he is, the brink is 1/3 done. He's got 2/3
of the brink,
two-thirds
of the brink, 2/3 steps.
What's interesting, he's got a shutout going because he also is on the brink of the all-time record for shutouts by a goaltender. He has 100 shutouts in his terrific career.
Well, you can't.
The all-time record is 103.
You can't credit the teammates for all of that. I mean, there's some personal skill there. He's being modest, isn't he?
Well, of course. Well, but a goaltender does that, and he does it well. I mean, he does have to have a team skating in front of him. Let's listen to a few of his comments from this morning when he talked about what tonight would mean to him.
Definitely have a chance to do it in New Jersey is it's awesome. You know, I think the fans has been really supportive throughout my career here in New Jersey, and you know, I think, like I said earlier, it's always seemed that when I break records or I do something, it's always on the road. So it's kind of, you know, it'll be nice to hopefully do it at home.
And the interesting thing again is that you know, the Devils are not the big hockey team in this area. Obviously, the Rangers dwarf them for popularity. So we've joked oftentimes on the news that if he actually played for the Rangers, they would build statues to him. The fact that he's a Devil, you know, kind of makes him less well known. But I really, and I've maintained it, that we've mentioned on the broadcast, he may be the best athlete in New York playing right now. When you think about it, when you go through all the teams, you know, even A-Rod and Jeter. I mean, this guy and what he's accomplishing and where he is in his career, he may be the #1 local athlete.
And he accomplished it playing for one team, which is really rare.
Which is rare because most of the time when you talk about people with home run records and things in baseball, they've jumped around to different teams. But he's done it with one team. And coming up at 11 o'clock on Channel 4, we'll show the highlights and finish off the brink and have some post-game reaction for you.
See you at 11 o'clock. Okay. More than 150 firefighters were called in to battle a raging fire that tore through 3 homes in New Jersey overnight. The fire started just before midnight in Irvington near Newark. At least 5 people were rescued from the homes. Nobody was hurt. Crews brought the flames under control by about 3 in the morning. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Another fire in New Jersey overnight shut down the light rail for a time. Universal Folding Box Building in Hoboken borders the tracks. It caught fire around 12:45. The abandoned factory burned intensely for several hours. Light rail service was back to normal for the morning commute, and nobody was hurt there either. Police in Southern California shut down a major highway. That was Highway 101. Last night, after a chase ended in a standoff. Officers said they originally tried to stop the car because it was swerving. There was also an outstanding narcotics warrant associated with a license plate number. L.A. police chased the car for nearly an hour, ramming it several times. And once the car finally stopped, the driver refused to come out, but eventually did give up. No word on whether he was armed. And we'll be right back to discuss the top stories of the week with our power panel. Thank you. Well, welcome back. From the government's attempts to reclaim millions of dollars in assets from Bernie Madoff's wife to whether Mayor Bloomberg should be allowed to run for a 3rd term, there are a lot of things on New Yorkers' minds this week. And joining us to talk about what you're talking about are radio personality Lynn White, psychotherapist Heidi Banks, and 106.7 Light FM radio host Laura Smith. And we welcome you all. Okay, this is just we just sort of talk. We get together, we talk. There are no rules on this, talk to each other, but what do you say we start with Madoff? We kind of started there last week. Ruth Madoff said she knew nothing about what her husband was doing. Do you think the government should be going after her money?
She was keeping the books. Of course she knew something about it, or what was she doing there? And she's living in the lap of luxury. All these people are out of their many millions that he was supposed to be making more millions for. And she's still living this glamorous lifestyle. She's going to have, what, tens of millions of dollars to walk away with and have a very clean, luxurious life. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that the public is going to stand for that.
I agree. Do they have any evidence, though, against her? Because at this point, I think they think that she was with him so closely for their entire lives. They're saying that there's no way that she couldn't know. But as a devil's advocate, I'm wondering sometimes how close you can be and not know anything and be clueless because maybe she was lied to, you know, for her entire life. No, seriously, I know.
Well, it's not so much lying. If you look at it as a psychologically, it's not lying, it's denial. So we always know something's going on in our family. I mean, we have families. We all have family secrets, and that's just part of family secrets. So, yes, she knew it, and I've been speaking to some of the Madoff victims, and, you know, they're madder at her than they are at Bernie.
But do you really think...
They're saying, like, I've seen people really, like, saying...
How can they be madder at her than they are at Bernie?
Yeah,
that seems odd.
Well, because she was the enabler. In essence.
Well,
yeah, but they're also angry because they're afraid she's going to get away with something, and that she's still living a high life, and they've had to give up luxuries that she hasn't.
We had a lawyer on yesterday who represented about 15 clients who lost, oh gosh, I don't know, $150 million combined. Some of them, you know, are impoverished, and he cited a doctor, a retired doctor who's now bagging groceries because he is absolutely impoverished by Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
I can understand the anger. I can understand why somebody like that would say, why should his family have anything when he caused me to go completely bankrupt? But I can't believe that the anger would be more focused on the wife or the sons or the brother than on Bernie, the architect.
But do you think he really kept it inside for all those years? He didn't share it with anyone? Not
well, that's what the investigators are going to probe at this point.
She had to have known something.
I'll tell you something, the loans that we're talking about with Bernie Madoff, the unsecured loans to his sons, it seems to me that's just another way around having to pay gift taxes.
And he was a master of moving money around,
it was the unsecured loans.
You know, I'm dealing with a family, you know, I do my coaching by phone. I'm dealing with a family in California right now that's not doing Madoff, but went through a similar situation where the husband turned into being a thief and went and tried to get away with it. And the interesting thing is the wife didn't know, and the son who was in the business didn't know, and they kept 2 sets of books. And it's interesting because you sit there going, wait a minute, but you realize after a while that there's a little bit of denial and a lot of when somebody is as good, if he does turn out to be a sociopath, if he does turn out to be somebody with a hero complex that only wanted to do good, imagine this man coming home night after night to dinner going, honey, guess what? I just made $100 million for so-and-so, and I did this and that. And
let me get one more topic in here. Laura, do you think Mayor Bloomberg should run for a 3rd term?
Oh, interesting. You know, I heard him on the radio a while back stating that he was absolutely against that, thought it was not the right thing to do for New Yorkers, wasn't the right thing morally to do. And now all of a sudden, because it's, you know, in what he thinks is his best interest and the best interest of the city, no, I don't think unless there's something absolutely catastrophic going on where we need his leadership because he's been in here, he knows what's going on. Other than that,
we aren't catastrophic, and he's the only one that made money. See, the thing is,
what did he do for us?
Well, I think he's had extraordinary leadership. A lot of the schools that were in trouble have turned around. I think Bloomberg.
We have to cut that just quickly. I take it I have 2 who say no. Do you think he should run for a 3rd term or not?
No.
No. Okay. 2. One yes.
I don't even want him to run. I just want him to be elected, and I will do whatever it is to make that happen.
Well, you have to run. I hate to break it to you.
I know it's that.
Thank you very much, Lynn, Heidi, Laura. We appreciate you coming in here. We'll be right back with more on New York Nightly News on New York Nonstop. Well, coming up tonight on News 4 New York at 11 o'clock. How to make your money grow even now. If you dipped into your savings just to get by, we have 3 ways to rebuild your nest egg tonight at 11. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Behold Michael, the Golden Local, the world's first human trophy. Who is worthy? You decide. Vote at NBCNewYork.com.
Some days it's real drama.
It's a film about obsession.
Some days real comedy.
This movie makes Beavis and Butthead look like masterpiece theater.
One thing's for sure, it's always the real take on
I
movie.
think it's quite a feat of filmmaking.
I thought it lurches to a predictable conclusion.
Jeffrey Lyons, Allison Bales, Real Talk.
You're one movie away from being the biggest movie star in the world.
They'll tell you which movies to run to.
This could be one of the best pictures of the year.
Which movies to run away from.
This is just absolute drivel.
Get hooked. Real Talk. Now playing on New York Nonstop.
I am a regular person just like every other New Yorker. I get up every morning, drink a cup of coffee, and go to work. My name is Pat, and I live in Brooklyn. I am a location manager in the film industry. We are responsible for the scouting of locations. We do want to leave the smallest impact possible on a neighborhood. The key for us is to put ourselves forward as the people that the community can reach out to. I hope that no one is ever afraid to approach any of us about filming. I love working in this industry, and I love living in New York City.